Oh, Nosferatu. Welcome to the Daily Neitz. This is the daily look at classic films, modern cinema, and the world of professional wrestling. I can talk. And, Cody's laughing at me in the other room. Today I want to talk about the 1922, I think, movie, Nosferatu. It's this movie. It's Dracula. It is just Bram Stoker's Dracula, but before anyone had the rights to make a movie out of it. So instead of Dracula, it's Count Orlok, and instead of the Harkers, it's the something else's. The Hutters. I'm gonna be real with you. I have no issues with silent films. You should know this. I frequently cite Metropolis as one of my favorite movies. I love Charlie Chaplin. I can watch Buster Keaton go all day. And I sat through the 4-hour film Greed. But for some reason, every time I try to watch either Nosferatu or The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, I fall asleep. These movies just knock me out. And it's weird because they're both like those German expressionist movies. They're both like horror films, both from around the same period of time. And both of them, whenever I find versions of them to watch, they have like the weird like tinting on, like different color tinting depending on if it's night or day or where they are on the film. And for some reason, it's just like that mixed with like the score. It's always like a really classical score. Just knocks me out. Can't stay awake. Same thing happened today trying to watch this. About 20 minutes in, I'm dozing off. And I did pause the movie, and then when I woke up, I watched it. The end of it, I didn't just sleep through the credits. But I mean, like, I'm not a fan of Nosferatu, is what I'm trying to say. Not a huge fan. Maybe it's because I know the Dracula story, I've read the novel, I've seen like 6 adaptations of it on film now, and it's not that it's a bad adaptation, but there are more interesting adaptations for me. I prefer like the Gary Oldman version. I really like that version of the story. The Bela Lugosi's fine. You can check out my thoughts on that elsewhere on this channel, but like Nosferatu just doesn't appeal to me, and I'm not a huge fan. I understand like the cinematography in some scenes is great. I love the shadow of Orlok attacking the Mina Harker, whatever her name is in this Hutter lady. The shadow stuff is great. Orlok's design is really cool, very unique. No other Dracula looks like this guy. But that's cool, and the shot of him like sitting up out of the coffin is classic, and it's brilliant shot, especially for 1922. But that's all I can really pull out of this movie that I like, and it might just be the versions of it that I see, but I always have these glaring issues when I watch this movie, especially today. This is the DVD version I watched. I got this from the LA Public Library. I don't know if I'm allowed to show that address. It's a public address. I think it should be fine. But this is the version, and I just have so many issues with this DVD. First of all, this case is bonkers. What is this? Just piece of cardboard? What is that? That makes no sense. Second of all, this is one of those DVDs from like, I want to say like 2001. It's like an early DVD. Oh no, 1991 is that stuff. I don't know when this DVD was released. But it's one where you put it in the DVD player and the movie starts. There's no menu. I can't adjust anything. It just starts playing the movie. I don't like that. Sometimes I need to put on subtitles. This movie, I don't need to. But maybe I want to see what kind of special features there are beforehand before I watch the movie. I like having the menu where I can select play. I don't want to just start playing. And then there's the intertitles. The sections of the film where the action cuts away and it's just words on the screen. And there were so many issues with those on this DVD. The most glaring one for me was there was like a shadowing or an echoing effect with all the text. You'd have like the full text there, and then it would be like a half transparent of the same word, like 2 pixels underneath it, and it made it like at best headache inducing to read. At worst, when the text was in the crazy fonts, like unreadable text. And that's the main source of storytelling in this film. That's another issue I have with the film itself, is that it relies very heavily on those intertitles. And when you can't read them, you don't know what's happening in the movie, and that is a huge problem. And the other issue with the intertitles is some of them had this like pale green background, every time one of those came up, you could see the next title, the words faintly behind the title, as if they took the slides and stacked them on each other and then just would film one and then take the next one off, then film the next one, take that one off, film the next one. So you could see the next title, the words on it, underneath what you were trying to read. It's just super distracting. I'm not sure if those are issues with the DVD or with just the negatives that exist of it. It's a problem because it is in the public domain, so pretty much anyone can release a DVD. And when I just called the library and was like, put this on hold, that's the one they put on hold. There may be better versions out there. But when it says restored edition, I expect there to be some restoration effort involved. And there wasn't. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about Nosferatu. Lots of complaints about the DVD, a few about the film. It's not one of my favorites. I understand, like, it's got this legendary place in horror movie history, which it certainly deserves because of the time it came out and what it did and what it did to the Dracula myth and built it. Like, for example, in the novel, Dracula didn't die in the sun. He was just a normal person in the sunlight. This film is what made Dracula, or vampires in general, die in response to sunlight. We wouldn't have sparkly twilight if it wasn't for Nosferatu. Good or bad, that is a huge impact that this film has had on the horror movie genre. But it's not one of my favorites. It's not one I'm going to seek out. I'm not going to watch this again unless I have to. And even then, I'll probably just fall asleep again. Anywho, tomorrow I'm going to look at a film called Notorious. It's by one of my favorite suspense directors, Alfred Hitchcock. Surprisingly, it's one of his that I haven't seen, even after taking a class on the man in college. So I'm looking forward to this tomorrow. Should be a good time. But until then, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment section below. Tell me your favorite classic horror movie. Like, let's go like pre-60s horror film, black and white. Give me some B-movie stuff in the comments there. Follow me on Twitter at Daily Neitz. That's all I gotta say tonight. Until tomorrow, bye.